Hello everybody, welcome to a Facebook Live with Jeannie. I am Jeannie Nielsen, the card lady, and very excited to be here with you today. I had to go take a quick detour down to the doctor. I probably mentioned my stupid fall that I had when I walked in the evening after dark, tripped over a manhole cover lip and went down and hurt my ribs. I'm still dealing with that, but I'm here today and I'm glad to see you guys. I wanted to share with you the Thankful Garden bundle. The Thankful Garden is the bundle that I'm going to be using this weekend at my retreat. I have 16 lovely ladies coming. I'm so excited to pamper them and hope that they have the best time fellowshipping with other crafters. So today I'm going to talk about the Thankful Garden. I'm going to use some of the lovely garden DSP. And the reason that I am doing this Facebook Live is because I want to show you how to use the masks. I was so intimidated by the masks and I'm really not anymore. I have so much fun with them. These Thankful Garden masks actually have two different patterns and I'm going to kind of show you just very quickly. Actually, let me just show you the stamp set again. There's a hydrangea and there's this. When it looks straight up, to me, it looks, I don't know. You could almost do it like a pansy, couldn't you? You could almost add some purple to the inside and have a yellow. I think of it as dogwood blossoms, which usually have 5 blossoms. I have no idea. But I wanted to show you today how to use the masks. A simple, easy way how I use the masks. And in the process, I'm going to show you a fancy fold card, the Accordion Fold-Out Card. So I'm going to flip down. No, I'm going to flip up to flip down, and we're going to get started. Thank you for joining me today. So we're going up to my beautiful ceiling, and I'm going to flip down, just like that. And we've got here my grid paper. Oops, let's get that better. There we go. So excited that you guys can join me. Or even if you tune in on the replay, let me know that you're watching the replay. I'm fine with that. I don't mind. I have a hard time responding to comments while I am doing this, mostly because now I'm here down and the comments are up here at the top. And truthfully, now that I'm older, I can't do two things at the same time to save my life. Really, really can't. So the first thing I want to do is stamp my flower. I've got this dogwood flower or whatever flower it is. I don't know what it is. I seriously don't. I'm pretty good at flowers, but this one I can't really recognize. But I'm going to show you that what I'm going to do is take my Memento ink and I'm going to stamp my flower. I'll worry about positioning if I'm not going to die cut it, but in this case I am going to die cut it, although not on camera, of course. I like to take my Memento ink to my large stamps rather than the other way around. That way I make sure that I don't have a halo around my stamps because of getting the edge. You don't usually with your photopolymer stamps if you're careful anyway, but just in case. So here we have my stamp, and I'm going to stamp it here. You know what I should do? One more trick for photopolymer stamps, and I do two things, but one thing that I should do is have my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath me. It has a little bit of give, and it's good for stamping with photopolymer. So I'm going to stamp here, just like that. And you'll see that I have already taped down my scrap paper. And the other thing that I forgot to tell you is when I do scrap paper, let me put on my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. I like to take a little nick out of the corner. That way you know it's scrap paper. Otherwise it looks like another regular layer, right? You never know. Okay, just realized that I don't know where I put the rest of my card unless it fell. It could have fallen. Okay, it's going to be fine. Going to be fine. I see it all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start with the masks. And there are 5 masks. And in the corner right here, let me show you one where it's a little bit more obvious because I didn't write over top of it. Okay, right here. There is a little 5 in the corner, or a 4. It's up by the notch up in the corner. What I did to make it easier was I took my Sharpie. Don't use something that's water-based because it's going to be gone anyway, unless you really don't want to keep those marks there. But then you take a chance of smudging on your paper or whatever. So there's 5 masks in here. I didn't end up cleaning in between. I did one sample already because what I found is that if I'm careful in using the same color, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to start with mask number 1, and we're going to lay it over top of the flower. Now you might have to move it a little bit to figure it out. Actually, that's pretty good right there, which is amazing. Because I've stamped, I can see the outline of my flower. And should I go down a little bit so you guys can see it? I'm going to move you down just a little bit like that. So you can see all of my lines there, right? And if you'd like, this is a good time to, oh, you know, I'm going to take out my Stampin' Pierce mat. We don't need that anymore. Let's move that out of the way. But this is a good time to tape down my mask if I'd like to. So realize that this mask is dependent on how I stamped. If I stamp more to the side, my thing might be straight up, who knows? But anyway, the other thing I like to do is there's a little notch here. And just for, you can do this however you want, but just for, so that I can easily line up maybe the next time when I don't have as much information with the mask. And you'll see what I'm saying. When I get to mask number 3, all I have is this, and it's hard to line it up potentially. So I've put my little notch there, and that doesn't mean that's exactly where it's going to line up. That's just potentially, or at least a start where it's going to line up. You see that I have all of my black marks there. All of my memento is obvious. I'm going to stamp with Melon Mambo, and you need your blending brush for that. So I've got my blending brush. I try to either label them or look at the same and see if they're the right color. This is Melon Mambo. Oh, and I wanted to show you what I've already done. So I've already done 2 of these. This one was done in Pretty in Pink. This one was done in Melon Mambo. Not very dark. I'm going to show you that you can change the color of your flowers just by adding more ink. Now I'm going to stamp off. You see how I brushed off? It's easier to add more color. Wow, I'm already very bright. Look at that. Look at how pink that is. That's already brighter than I was for the other one. Now notice I've taped this, but I'm still holding on to this, and I'm starting with mask number 1. So here we go, mask number 1. And I'm just going to keep doing a circular motion with that. If you need more ink, which I don't feel like I do, well, maybe I could, just a little touch up here since I've got more in the center here. Let's do it. Start off the mask and then onto it. Just gradually add your color, okay? There we go. That is mask number 1. There's 5 masks altogether. Look at how beautiful that is. I could leave it right there. But the artist has done so much with this that it's easy to see where mask number 2 goes. So first of all, we have our notch over here that I can see. That's going to give me a good clue where mask number 2 goes, right? Well, the other, it's not, see, I said it's not laid in stone. It's not see, if I put this mask over here, I don't know if you can see that. There's a lot of white. I don't want to see any white because I'm going to be coloring outside of my lines then if I do. So line it up so that you don't see any white outside of your mask, because the first mask, mask number 1 where you started, has the most coverage. See, I slid that and I don't want to slide that. Just trying to line that up. That's pretty close. I'll tape this down, although it's not a permanent, it's only a temporary thing, so I've got to be careful. I'm going to add more pink now. And because I've got another area, it's almost like when you're using the blender pen. When you add more ink, you add another layer, but you're going to see, so it's already getting much, much brighter than it was before, right? I want to get a little bit in that corner right over there, right like that. Be careful if you're not, see, I got some ink right here. If you're not die cutting, you have to be careful that you don't get any ink on the side of your, that kind of stay within the lines, right? Do a little bit up there, and I can't wait to see what this one looks like. But we're not done yet. Isn't that beautiful? But we've got mask number 3, so let's lay down mask number 3. So I've got my notch on the corner. I kind of know where I'm going to look. lay the thing. But obviously, look at that. I don't want to see any white. So it can't be over here, can't be down there. I want to see, even if it's lighter, I know that I'm going to keep it kind of between the lines. I can see that there's black right outside. I can see through this mask to see where I'm going to go. When I add another layer of pink, it's going to make it still darker. So let's look at this again and see how much darker it's going to get. You can keep adding, but it's hard to take away. So if you don't like too much color, start slowly, just a little bit. Start off your paper before you start adding, okay? This is just a real simple card. And I'm just showing you how easy it is to use these masks. I want to do a little bit more. It's a little bit lighter there. I don't know if it's supposed to be or not. So let's just add a little bit more. Beautiful. Oh, isn't that so pretty? And what I wanted to show you is look at how similar that looks to this flower here in the DSP. So this one I did a little bit darker. This is also Melon Mambo, but I just started out really light. So you can do, and that maybe looks a little bit more like that one, right? Maybe a little bit, and maybe not so much, but anyway. We're going to get to that DSP piece in a second. We are now going to put away our Melon Mambo ink. And of course, these flowers could be anything. Like I said, you could do a yellow flower, you could do a blue or a purple flower. I don't want to show the cards for the weekend, but I did want to show you what we're doing here. Okay, so now I'm going to take out my garden green, and I have my garden green brush here ready to go. We're going on to mask number 4, and this one is pretty easy to see. Even though I could lay down my notch, all I really have to do is line up my leaves and my stem. So I'm going to do that. And they did such a good job that my green is going to lay right outside of these petals here. Isn't that so cool? I don't know where my tape went, but let's get back to taping again and our green. I had a thought too when I was doing this, and my thought, I picked up a card and it had some Wink of Stella. I suppose if you wanted to, you could certainly use Wink of Stella. The problem that I think you're going to have is removing, see how I moved that? You don't want that to move. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I don't want to see anything except for the stem and the leaves right there. If you do the Wink of Stella, you have to be able to remove that. It's fast drying, just like the blends would be. I'm sure that maybe some 90% isopropyl alcohol will take it off, but I'm not positive. I'm just going to lay down some green ink, and just like this flower is more vibrant than this one that I did here, I'm going to add a little bit more green than I did the last time. So you'll see that I'm laying down some green, and I could stop there very easily, or let's add more. Let's make it a really green leaf. I just want to show you how different that can be. Now remember, see? Do you see the white on there? You can't see that white. Move that back before you start using your brush again. You really want to make sure that you don't see any white, because if that white is there, you know that your mask has moved. There we go. Ta-da. See, that's pretty, and that could be good enough. It certainly could be good enough. Isn't that a beautiful flower? Absolutely gorgeous. But there's still one more mask, and I can add a little bit more green. So I'm going to line up my stem again, line up my leaves, and I can see, now isn't this funny? I see white there, but I can see that that's supposed to be there. It's going to be, I don't know, that might be the way to lay it. They could have done it either way. They could have laid it, put a cut in there so that I was going to lay it darker over this. Who knows? But anyway. I see where all my tape's going. I keep putting it off to the side. Let me add the green again. And like I said, we can do much darker now. Just like this flower is more vibrant, our leaves can also be a darker, deeper green. More like a summer color instead of, whoa, sorry, that was almost a mess on the floor because I knocked this. I don't have my table right up snug next to me. But see what I'm doing? Circular motions. I like to put my finger here because it gives me a little bit more pressure. But whatever works for you. I feel like if I didn't have my finger, I wouldn't have control. So I like to have a little bit of control. So let's see what this looks like without this mask on. Ah, it's beautiful, isn't it? So now we have a die to cut this out. What I wanted to show you though is perhaps I wanted to do this one. So this one, like I said, is pretty in pink and it's a light green. This one is my Melon Mambo, but a lighter one. Maybe I want to do a bunch of these and I've decided this is darker. I'm going to show you something. You can always go back. Maybe I'm going to show you just the green. I'm going to take this off. I will die cut this and add this later to my card. I'm going to finish making the card, but I wanted to show you that I can easily come back again and add more green. So what I'm going to do is line it up again. What if I've decided it's not dark enough or I want more ink? It's pretty easy to line that up, even not using the notch. And you know, you see that my notch is nowhere to be found here on the side because I'm off the paper and I'm just laying this down. But you can see there's no white. I'm going to be very, very able to just come back, especially if I don't move it. I can come back. This is mask number 4. And I can make it a little bit darker, just like that. Beautiful, right? Well, let's come back and use mask number 5 again. And this is how easy it is to go back if you want to add more ink or color, just like that. So I don't want to see any white. I'm going to come back. Just like that. And now all of a sudden, my leaves, if I don't move this, sorry I'm shaking the table, but you'll see it's much darker than it was. They were kind of this color before. And now look at how much nicer it is. So I could do the same thing with the pink. I'm not going to, for the sake of time, because my clock is going to start making Christmas song noise in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So let's put this aside and then let's finish making the card. So I told you we were going to make an accordion fold-out card. We're going to start here with a base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I used soft seafoam. I was going to use Melon Mambo, but I decided soft seafoam. I wanted it to look springy. Melon Mambo, it was kind of a stark contrast with the garden green. This is one of the papers from the lovely Garden DSP, and I'm just going to glue that to the back very quickly. Let me get my adhesive. I like the green glue. Everybody can use what they want, but green glue is kind of my favorite. Just like that. And I'm going to attach this, and if it has a pattern, make sure you're paying attention to the pattern right here. Okay, the next thing, let me set this aside for 1 second, and I am going to have my, be careful where you lay this. That's not good. I'm going to make sure that that's my back now. But what I need here, because I laid that right on top, I've got to be very careful. Okay, what I need is my scoreboard. And I am going to score this 4 1/4 by 9 3/4 inch cardstock, into 3 equal sections. So 9 3/4 in 3 equal sections is going to be 3 1/4. So let me score 3 1/4 here. Because one side is going to be mountain, the other side is going to be valley, I am going to score the next one at 6 1/2, just like that. And I will make sure that that's on the back, and nobody will be the wiser. You guys are going to be the only ones that know. See, the bump goes in the inside. I fold it like that. Let me move off my scoreboard. Let me bring in my bone folder, just like that. We'll burnish the edges. And then hopefully it doesn't show up. What I'm going to do is attach this right here in the center, and this is going to be my accordion fold-out card. So let's finish this. I'm telling you, this is a quick card once you've got everything scored and colored. I'm going to put this right here, just like that, centered, left and right, top and bottom. Make sure you don't move it when you move it back into the camera, just like this. The other thing that I'm going to do is add some DSP. I decided this DSP is a little bit, I love this DSP, and we're going to use it on the inside. I'm using it primarily for my inspiration for my coloring, if that makes sense. That's way too busy. So what I'm going to do is attach it this way. We're just going to add some green glue here and attach this to the front. Because this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 each section, my DSP or my basic white is going to be 3 by 4. That's how simple this is. I'm going to put this one here. I don't know if it's too busy or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know. Like I said, it may be too busy and I may decide later. I'm going to try and pay attention to the direction, just like that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is move this out of the way. And I have one more piece, ouch, right here of my 3 by 4 basic white cardstock. And I'm going to attach that right there after I stamp. So what I'm going to do to stamp is I have a couple of sentiments and leaves. Thankful for you, friend, and some leaves here. And we're just going to stamp that right on here, and this is going to go in the center of our card. That's how easy this card is. So I'm primarily doing this Facebook Live because I want to show you how easy it is to use the mask, and then I can refer my people that are taking the make and takes this weekend. I can just easily show them this video on YouTube rather than reinventing the wheel and doing a whole nother video. If I wanted to, I could color these leaves with blends, but I'm just going to attach that right there. If there was a mask, I would color it in before I attached it, but there is not a leaf that's going to fit that size. That's not to say that if I die cut that, I could make my own mask. Oh my goodness. Look at the mess I made. Well, I'll stamp over that. You want to make sure you don't have inky fingers when you attach your beautiful cardstock to the inside, but everybody does things like that once in a while. Let me get my, take your pick tool. I've got some antique, oh, I forgot the most important part, the flower. Let's add the flower real quick. This is going to take 30 seconds. I'm going to attach it with dimensionals, just like this. Right there, and maybe one more down there, and we're going to attach it to the card front just like that. And it's a little blah, but it's not terrible. And like I said, I could add some of these antique pearls. I love these antique pearls, one of my favorites. So there's 3 sizes of the antique pearls too, just to let you know. So I like to use all 3 sizes, and that's all we're going to do, except try to figure out how I'm going to remove that ink. But here you go. That's how you use the mask. I hope this was clear as day. Oh, thank you, Anne. Isn't that pretty? You're not going to make this card this weekend, but I wanted to show how to use the mask. Thank you to everybody that watched, everybody that will watch. I love you guys, and I will be back once more this week because I have to show you how to make a center step card in a video. So I've decided I'm going to do that this week as well. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.